to the eye. You don't wanna have to be that guy. Looking in the mirror and ask why. You didn't win. Stick it on the green, I'ma try. If I don't win, I'ma die. I gotta get them birdies. I stay away from bogeys. If I touch a triple, I'ma fall to my knees. Look up to the Lord. Why you hate me? Why you hate me? Did you wake up in the morning with that drive to grind? Did you take the time to wine and dine on the finest crust pizza from the south side? Nah, I don't think so. Now when it comes to the elements, did you think about the gnats and the time you spent on the driving range, exchanging notes on your victory speech to touch that coat? B to the M to the I. You don't wanna have to be that guy. Looking in the mirror and ask why. You didn't win. Stick it on the green, I'ma try. If I don't win, I'ma die. I gotta get the birdies. I stay away from bogeys. If I touch a triple, I'ma fall to my knees. Look up to the Lord. Why you hate me? I said, why you hate me? I'm pumping on that black and mild. Championship type of smile. Committee goes that extra mile. Chairman Davis will make it worthwhile. Queen of the bluff, yeah, she a G. Marsh Monster can't handle the heat. Put one in his chest for messing with me. Don't touch my stroke if you can handle the smoke. What's the bigger joke? Eating out a dog bowl or getting shit-faced now you're a late show? Or intern Billy saying he just choked? Or Lot Lizard coming back ready for more? It's a 2-day tournament, so take your supplements. And if you got an attitude, change your temperament. Cause I ain't having it. This is round 8. Let's get on with it.
The guy's a prick. All his buddies are
Good guy. Good guy.
Prick.
Hate him. Hate me.
Am I right? Am I right?
One more time. Say it again.
Get out of here.
I just want to say it.
He's a goddamn prick. All you guys are good. He's a prick.
Fuck you.
Are you ready for KJ knows best? KJ knows best. KJ knows best. KJ knows best.
This podcast is brought to you by the BMI Black and Mild Invitational, where winners go to win. BPGA, without it, there is no golf. A special thanks to our partners. First Tee, hit it long and hit it straight, but only on the first tee. Now for the host of your show, Kyle Porsche.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to KJ Knows Best. Man, it has been a minute, guys. So happy to be back. We are 3 weeks away until the 2020 BMI. Obviously, we've been postponed because of COVID, and we were thinking it was going to be October. Luckily enough, we all found a weekend that it could be in July, so here we are. And as always, I'm joined by producer Corey down here in the studio, and Blake DeBartolo, my neighbor. Corey, how you doing? How's your golf game? You've been out a few times. How's everything going with you?
It's going good, Kyle. Thanks for asking. Golf game is on an upswing. Obviously not the best golfer, but figuring it out day by day, and definitely getting ready to participate in the 2020 BMI.
Nice. Yeah. Blake, I've seen you obviously a couple times. We've been playing. We've been prepping as much as we can. What are your thoughts as we're getting closer here?
Yeah, thanks for having me back on, Kyle. It's really been interesting. I guess you could say over the last maybe month and a half, 2 months, 90% of the golf I've been playing has been scrambles, which is not typical for any golfers. So I really don't know. I played my own ball last weekend and didn't play great, but I really don't know what my game's like. I know I can hit some decent shots every now and then. I mean, the putter is always what it is, not very good. But that being said, I'm nervous. I think this field is the best it's ever been, and you're not going to be able to limp into this one. You're going to have to win this one, and I don't know if I'm there yet. But the good news is we got 3 weeks left. I live close to golf courses with lights on, so I can play as much as I can. Hopefully, be prepared and ready to go.
You know, it's funny. You talk about prep and people who do individually. They prep individually and whatnot, but the teams that have had the ability to do scrambles, I think it's valuable. I think there's a big difference of sitting in the scramble and waiting for different shots, reading the greens, taking the time, the nerves that come with the BMI. All that stuff is so valuable, and if you get a chance to do it, great. If you don't, because you live in different cities, so be it. But I think everyone knows that it's 3 weeks. Everyone's trying to get their swings in, and there's been a lot of chatter. There's been a lot of rounds. The overflowing, the Grint app has obviously been overflowed by all of us in the BPGA. So we're all following that. So it's a really exciting time, and let's hope for some good weather in the next few weeks. Let's hope that nothing really spoils the trip down to the Bluff. But we're really excited. We're actually joined by another person in here live in the studio, Joey Piazza, who is obviously a former champion 2019, who's got a lot of stats to tell. Blake, I know you do too, but Joe, honestly, I think if anyone had to really, I guess be a good case of waiting for this BMI, I would say you are in a prime position. I think you've been here, early March? Something like that. So I think if anyone has probably had the ability to prep a lot more than you probably have originally anticipated, it's you. You've got to play a lot of rounds here in Peachtree City, down in Griffin with Matho, up in Atlanta maybe with a few 06ers. So talk about how your prep's going and how you're kind of getting ready for the BMI this year.
Yeah, man. Really happy to be here. The last 3.5 months are a lot different than they were going to be had COVID-19 not happened. Living in New York City, probably would have been playing the least amount of golf of anybody in the entire pool. It's quite the chore to get to a golf course from where I would have been living. So I'd say one of the silver linings of all of this has been being back here, man. I mean, I've played with all of you guys multiple times. Yep. Me and Matho get out a lot. Me and Dean have made 2 trips down to the Bluff. It's been a blessing. I mean, it's been a blessing, and we're feeling pretty confident right now. Game's pretty good, but everybody said it. It's a stacked field, and everybody's playing a ton of golf.
Yeah,
everybody. So I think the delay could end up being a net positive in terms of the BMI just being a great tournament this year.
Before we get into some of the stats that you have, which I'm so excited to hear about, and Blake as well, you guys going to piggyback it, but why do you think? I mean, you're a past champion. You just did it last year. Why do you think you keep maybe falling a little bit or getting overlooked?
Yeah, I mean, there's the fake news out there. A lot of people think it's sandbagging. I have a partial ACL tear, and it was very fresh when the draft happened. Luckily, I've been able to manage it, doing a lot of isometric work at home, a lot of tubs, the preparation.
Yeah.
This is a big deal.
I mean, just we've been talking, a lot of chatter. If the draft was today or yesterday, what the difference of where would Cam get drafted, I'd probably say the same thing for you. Maybe in a few spots up for sure. So it's just funny the difference, when I guess we drafted in February to where we are now. Everyone's playing more golf again. Like I said, you're down here, so you have that. You had the ability to get a lot more reps in than you anticipated because you're going to be living up, northeast. So
yeah, I think there's a cluster of golfers that are all, any day it could be any golfer, and whoever shows up for 2 days in mid-July is probably going to put themselves in a good shot to win.
Yeah. Obviously, you guys ran away with it last year, but your thoughts on the 2-day tournament to maybe eliminate that some after day one, everyone not knowing what the leaders are at. I think that will be good for the tournament. What do you think? Obviously, being a past champion is, having to not only do it one day, but go out there again, teeing off last, and do it again.
Yeah,
for another
it's
round.
it's a different experience for sure. I'll say the BMI's a grind. I mean, even when we were ahead a couple strokes, every hole, even 18, like you're honed in, and I would say. I think everybody's going to pretty much be in it going into day 2. I think if you're within 4 or 5 strokes, you have a chance. I know that there was spreads last year with practice rounds that, teams shot 4 or 5 strokes different, practice round and the live round. And I think you could see that this year. I don't know that whoever's leading after day 1 is going to get it done. And, contrary to popular belief, I think 20 under is probably going to get it done.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. And I'll let Blake jump in, but I think a lot of people think it's over that number, and I would just wait a second. I would just wait a second there.
As somebody who has gone down to Sapelo and played the hole patterns that we're playing, the tips changed some of those holes for a lot of players in the field. I won't say teams. A lot of players in the field were going to be hitting different shots this year.
Yeah, so you think 20 though is the number?
I think if you post a 20, you got to feel pretty good about yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would even say high teens, to be honest with you. Just because I really do think that second day, whether you go crazy the first day or the second day, like, man, consistently you got to bring it like that, and with the switching of the tees and everything. A couple players of your team have to bring it both days, and it's not going to be easy, especially when you add the fact that now it's in July, the heat, a Friday night of champions dinner, drinking. You put everything in like that. It's very different. So.
I'll let this person remain anonymous, but it was a random 09 graduate texted me and asked me how bad the Nats were last weekend, and I could just sense the mental weakness oozing across the phone.
I got a couple points on the winning score. So in Sapelo Hammock history, there's only been 4 rounds of 10 under or better, ever. Now, 3 of those have won, I believe. Last year there was 2 of them, and last year was also the best round ever. Now, hypothetically, this course is playing the hardest it's ever been because we're moving back for 18 of the 36 holes, or actually it'll be 17 of the 36 holes because hole 9 we're going to play from the blues both days. But on top of that, another point which is not really related to the tees, I did want to get both your thoughts on just the psychology behind of not posting the round 1 scores till the very end. So everyone's going to be playing. I mean, everyone's going to know what they think they need to do to be successful. So if you're 4 under going into hole 16, you're probably going to be, in a pretty shitty mood. But that being said, if you're 6, 7 under with 3 holes to go, like, you got to put the fucking gas down and you got to go because everyone's going to be going at a similar number.
Yeah.
So really, Joe, like, what's the number your team has talked about? If you don't want to share, like, what's the range you're thinking day 1 that you want to be competitive, and how do you think it'll affect everyone's round 1 play? I mean, we've heard stories of Eli playing the last 3 holes with his shirt off. Like, that's not going to happen anymore, right?
No, I mean, if that's happening on a team, that team is out of it. I personally think it's awesome not posting scores in day 1. I think you're forced to hone in, play your game. It's different when, in years past, Poe's gone out and put low numbers across the board, and you're chasing, and it maybe makes you more aggressive in certain situations. I think you're just going to go out there and you're going to try to play the best golf you can. You're not going to know what's going on around you other than hearing roars across the course. But in terms of what we're looking, I don't know. I think the leader after 1 will be around 10. So I think if you're around 7, you're still going to have a pretty damn good shot at it. Given what we talked about and the spreads that could happen from one day to the next. I personally think any team in the field is capable of winning. I think there's a lot of golfers that if you just show up for 2 days, if you roll putts for 2 days, like, I can make an argument for any team to win. And then, in terms of stats, I mean, I don't know what you guys were thinking here, but
I want to let's you say however you want it, but I would love to go down whatever you think is kind of most important.
I got one question for you. I know
Yeah,
probably
right.
outside of Andy and probably Lower Bro, you've played the course the most in recent times. And I know you mentioned earlier that some of the holes, the tips make a big difference. Just give me a couple holes that it's a real. I mean, obviously we know about hole number 8 where it's playing 210 from the tips as opposed to 185 or whatever. Like that's a big difference, and that's a 210 par 3 is a tough hole, but. Give us a hole that we might not be thinking about off the top of our head that's like this is a different hole, whether it's a different angle, whether it's the distance, whatever it might be.
Yeah, so on the front 9, one that stuck out for me was 7, because when you're playing from the blues on 7, it's an easy angle for you to fly it over those bunkers and put yourself, 120, 130 yards out. The tips tuck you behind. You can't cut that corner like you have to hit a draw, right? Like you have to be a player that can shape shots. I am not one of them. And I noticed when we were playing that it's a different angle for sure, and it's a little bit harder to cut that corner and fly those traps.
Seven's an interesting hole. Yeah, it's one of those I think that everyone thinks that they can kind of get there. And I don't know. I feel like in years past everyone's kind of peaking to 8 too.
Yeah.
Right before it.
It's true.
And really, the bailout area to the left, if you miss left of the target, over the tree, over the bunkers, it's not a great area.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's not an area you really want to. I mean, you might be 120 with a wedge, but that's not what you want. You'd rather be 150 in the fairway. Yeah, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, and the other one that's similar to 7 is 11, where you got that bunker kind of in the middle of the fairway a little bit, and the tips put you a little bit further back, so you're forced to hit more of a straight drive, and then that just inherently puts you closer to like the 150, 160 number instead of that 120 corner cut.
Yeah,
interesting.
And then like what are your guys' thoughts on the first hole? I mean, like the tee boxes aren't that much different, but that's a deceivingly long hole.
Well, the first hole,
I don't think it's that hard.
It's
obviously hard.
What do you think? What do you think the average score is for the previous champions on hole 1?
The previous champions?
Yes, previous champions.
My team birdied it last year, which is the first time I birdied it.
Interesting.
And I'm talking going back to the White Panthers.
Now I could be wrong.
They bogeyed that, right?
Yeah, we bogeyed that.
It's great for me to
So
say
it's got to
because
be playing over par.
Yeah.
All previous champions have parred the first hole.
Okay.
Really?
No champion has birdied or bogeyed the first hole. And I don't. Do you think you chalk that up to nerves or the difficulty of the hole?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think nerves, because I don't really think it really is an over. You put that hole, if that's hole 6, I think people are birding that hole.
If you can hit a draw off the tee or even carry over that tree on the left and cut the corner, it's not a hard hole, but it's just the first hole.
It's the first hole. Yeah.
And I think everyone steps up to the tee box just says. They know what's ahead at number 2, and they know it's going to be an easy wedge in. So they say, let's get a par. Let's hit the green. We'll get a look at birdie. If we don't make it, we'll settle down, and then we'll attack number 2.
And again, even if you put a drive out there, you got your team around the first little wedge shot right on 1 going in. It's like, oh my shit, this is it. Here we go. You're 70 out. It's like the added pressure to unbelievable drive. Now you got to stick your first kind of like real fairway shot on. I mean, the nerves are different, man. And I mean, it's an interesting stat. That's funny.
I think there's a reason. I think it's nerves. And then going on into number 2, we've already talked about it. You're generally a wedge in.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think the previous champions have done on 2?
Birdie.
It has to be.
It's got to almost be playing at a 3-stroke average.
I would say all of them have birdied 2.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
All previous champions have birdied 2.
Have to. I
think it's the easiest hole in the course.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, Blake, I know you have some yardage numbers. What's the average shot? Like, I know. So two's playing at 332 and 310. 332 day 1, 310 on day 2. What average shot wise? Assuming what drive?
I mean, if you assume a 275-yard drive, it is average, and I say average in the point that you're going to hit some a little further and you're going to hit some shorter. I mean, if you're hitting 275 drives every single time, that's great. That's awesome. You're an awesome player. but you're going to hit some a little farther as a scramble team and a little shorter. So 275 yards from hole 2. Day 1 from the tips, you're looking at a 57-yard shot in. And this is the measurement to the center of the green, so it could be shorter or longer. And then day 2, you're looking at 35. So
Baby shot.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I know last year, I can't remember if we made birdie or not, but I hit a drive and we missed the fairway left. We were under that tree, but we were like 20 yards away. So we were punching, wedges under a tree. We were just trying to run it up on a green.
Gosh.
So you, I mean, and it's kind of a downhill hole too.
Yep.
So it's really it's so short that bombing a driver really isn't that important. But at the same time, you can get one real close down there.
Yeah. I can't believe so. All champions have birdied 2.
2's a must birdie. There's a few holes that are must birdies. 2 being
It's
one
really
of them.
an easy. I mean, it's not a huge green, but there's no bunkers around it. It's not really guarded. It's kind of flat.
Wow.
You really just got to get the ball on the green.
And blues to tips is a non-issue on that hole.
Yeah.
So I won't take you guys through every hole. I want to fly through. The only comment I'll make on number 3 is flag stick.
Go 3. Go 3 because I mean this is great for
Yeah.
me. For someone who hasn't.
Yeah.
been
So
there.
3.
We made bogey hole 3 last year.
3 is a sneaky narrow fairway.
Yeah.
That's right.
So last year when we won, they were all
Water
OB.
to the
I
right.
hit last,
Water to
and
the
Water to the right.
yeah, that water creeps into the fairway
And
more than you think.
It jets in a lot more than you can see from the tee box.
Yeah.
And isn't that green kind of?
Yeah. So that's what I was going to bring
yeah.
up, KJ. I would say
It's guarded.
the
It's
right of
guarded.
that green is a bowl. And
Yes.
if they throw the flag in that bowl, people are going to be able to get. I mean, it's a tough putt, but the ball naturally is going to funnel towards.
You
the
need
pin.
to dial in your distance there because if it is a bull, if you overhit it, you're cooked. And I think if you land it just right, I think our year last time we played, I think someone hit a real nice one in there, and we birdied. But that's a tricky green.
We did not birdie it last year, and even the left side of that green is not flat. That's a pretty tough green.
What's the difference there on the tips? Because from tips, that could be a tough shot.
That's a really tough tee shot.
Yeah, so
Depending
you're,
on where the landing area and where the water juts out.
yeah, so the tips that hole matters. So 379 on day 1 from the blues, and then it's pushed back to 406 from the tips. So your shot in is between 104 and 131.
Yeah.
This brief interruption is brought to you by Kyle's Piss. Thank you, Jack Daniels and Sprite. You did a great job. Thank you.
Welcome back, guys. Sorry I had to take a quick bathroom break, but let's get back to the action now with Joey. And I think we're on hole 4.
Hole 4, yeah. What do you think hole 4 has done historically for the green jacket winners?
Hole 4 plays pretty easy to me. I mean, you got those bunkers that kind of guard the vision of the green, but they're not really in play off the tee.
I'll say no one's birdied it. All pars.
I'm gonna say that if there's there's been 3 champions so far. 2 of the 3 have birdied it.
Oh, is that the one where you got a ton of
It's Maddie's hole.
Maddie's
Yeah,
hole?
it's on
Yep.
the
I take that
others.
back.
Yep, take that back.
Yeah, a lot of people probably birdied it then.
All of them.
All of them.
All birdies.
Yeah.
All birdies. So the tee shot on day 1's 354, day 2 325. I mean, you're a little baby wedge in.
Last year, Cam had a 350-yard drive from that hole.
Jeez.
And
Were you putting?
yes, well, everybody it was a bump and run or a chip, but Parker obviously putted. I think we were probably 25, 30 yards away off the green. Parker putted and hit the flag stick and settled an inch away from the cup. So I almost made eagle on that hole. Coming off of a bogey on 3 too, so it would have been huge, but we made birdie and went on a little birdie run there.
Wow.
Yeah, I think 4 probably plays as
That's an easy
maybe
hole.
the easiest hole on the entire
Yeah,
tournament.
That's an easy
I know I just said
Non-par
2 is the
5.
easiest, but I think 4 might be easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I know we're gonna go hole by hole here. We're at least in sequential order, but I've looked at the scorecard and some historical scores and just what people do. The front 9 is so important. I mean, you got to play the front 9 at 5 under.
Interesting.
You got to.
So not even the
Some
front 9.
people play at 6 or 7 under, but
Yeah.
you have to card a 5 under, or else like getting 5 under on the back is tough.
Yeah.
Previous champions have gone -6, -6, -7
Yeah.
on the front.
Wow.
And then I'd say more importantly than the front is those first 6 holes.
Yeah.
All previous champions have been 4 under through 6.
These are good.
And
These are good, boys.
That par 5 is not necessarily easy. I mean, you should birdie it because there's no one. There's that ditch area.
What's the difference of those tees,
know.
though?
I mean, I don't. Are there red stakes there? I really don't know.
No, that ditch is hard to get in play, in my opinion.
Difference of the tees on
Difference of the tees is 482 back to 513.
Yeah, that's a decent distance. I mean, 482,
You're almost
you're
back
either
to the
landing
road.
it close to the green or you got a short wedge in.
And I'll say a lot of times on that hole, I feel the wind's smacking you in the face a little bit because you're kind of facing the coast, and it's that hole is tough to reach into from the tips.
Yeah, I mean, if you're from 515 or whatever you said, I mean that's a stiff three wood in.
Yeah, assuming a 275 yard drive, you're about 238 out.
Yeah, that's a tough shot.
And it plays a little bit uphill. That said, I think that's a relatively easy birdie hole.
Yeah, I agree.
Five.
You should make birdie because there's really not much trouble to get into.
So let's just say so far. So you're saying 2, 4, and 5.
You got a birdie.
You're 3 under right now.
2, 4, and 5 have been birdied
have to be
by
3
all
under.
previous champions.
Yeah, you have to.
2, 4, and 5.
Got it.
Virtually must birdies.
Okay.
And moving on to 6, which is the par 3, which I think is the only par 3 not over water.
Yeah.
You'd have to imagine that the good ones are making some birdie, 50-50 birdie on that one because it's just you don't have very many shots like that where you have the chance to score on a par 3 on this course.
Yeah.
So we're actually the only previous championship team to birdie 6.
Yeah, so 1 out of 3.
1 out of 3.
Interesting.
I mean, 6 is going to play what 160, 168, and 152.
It's downhill though too, right?
Yeah, it's a big green, but it's
It's a slopey green.
yeah, it is. Honestly, I don't think I've ever hit the green.
Interesting. It's not going to play. It's not going to be 180, 185, 190
That's by
plus.
far the shortest of the par 3s.
Yeah, by far.
Okay. So take us through and go to 7.
Yeah, so
7 through 9.
when we look at 7, the thing I think is important is the tee shot, right? I think when you're from the Blues, and I can only say this from experience of playing it recently, the Blues you can cut that corner, right? You can draw it over those bunkers. You don't even really need to draw from the Blues to hit it over those bunkers and put yourself in a good spot. The tips back you up to the point where like cutting that corner is not easy. So a lot of times you're kind of throwing it off to the side of those bunkers, and that's more like a 150 to 160 in instead of a 120.
That's hole 7.
Hole 7.
So we'll see the tips there on day 2. So that could have just
It could be an
saved
interesting.
some people some strokes there because I would assume people are going to play that day 1 and just assume that they could hit the same thing day 2, but it obviously could be different.
Yeah, I mean you're 35 yards back. I mean that's a different shot.
That's huge. That's huge.
And then everybody knows when you're on 7. Everybody knows what's in the back of your head.
Yeah, is Porter going to double bogey hole number 8 again?
Not only is he going to double bogey it, is he going to sit in the marsh for 27 minutes?
Ruin the tournament. Wow.
Yeah.
How did that not affect you? Guys were in front of them.
We were right behind them.
Kyle wasn't there.
Yeah. How did?
Tournament was ruined. Kyle.
Yeah, I know. Well, for all the groups behind them.
Potter ruined the tournament.
But you were in
No,
front of them.
We were the group right behind him. So we waited the longest, and we parred.
I was 2 groups behind him, and I watched him hit his tee shot.
Wait, so you were there? It was backed up.
Yes.
Wow.
I was 2 groups behind him, and I watched him hit his tee shot.
That is wild.
And then it never recovered.
Hey,
Well, they must have been playing. They must have been playing pretty poorly.
Does anybody know if the committee's put in time limits this year?
That's a good question. I think that's certainly something I think the chairman is going to have to address a lot of different rules.
What about the flag sticks?
I asked him about that. I asked him about that last week, and I
Flag
said, "Hey,
sticks
Big deal.
we need
Huge.
to." First off, I asked him how they looked compared because I've played some courses where they're not a big deal, like Braylon, Plantera. They have that little noodle in there, and it's not that big of a deal. But then
Some
you
have
go
the
play
rubber.
Another course. I mean,
metal thing.
Some
if
have
you
the little
remember-
rubber thing where if you hit it with some decent pace and it's going in, it bounces out.
Was it Plantera?
I think it was maybe it was
Yeah,
Whitewater
maybe.
replay. I don't remember.
Whitewater
there was
Plantera.
a course. Braylon has the noodle. Plantera doesn't. And Plantera has the knot of the flagstick in the bottom where it goes in the cup is level with where the putt rolls in.
They're bopping out.
And you can hit it and it bops out. And so I asked him, I said, like, what's the deal? You know, how does the cup look? And he said, every putt he's hit, there's been no issues for him. And I said, okay, well, we need to make sure, like, the rule is the ball's got to go in the hole. And
It's huge.
And
yeah.
I don't know if we want to make a rule about the flagstick, whether we can take it in or out, or up to the team, or whatever it might be. But we need to make a rule, and we need to address the rule, and everyone needs to know what the rules are.
Yeah, because I mean, even playing at Summer Grove with Matt the other day, I hit a ball straight in, and it hit the flagstick.
It hit it out.
They don't have anything, but it's still the flagstick was in, and I looked
Sure.
at Matt and I go, Matt, I mean that was in.
I didn't.
And you're
And
playing
he
with
goes,
your
yeah.
Oh,
friend.
you're saying putting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're
So-
playing with your friend, and it's like, yeah, dude, like that was in the hole.
Right.
That makes sense.
But this is
Yeah,
different.
But this is
That's-
different,
Right.
and we have to play by the
Yeah.
same rules to where it
Agreed.
might be.
We need to address
The
that.
end result has to be the ball in the cup or
Right.
whatever, or it's a judgment call.
Well,
End result has to be ball and cup.
Well, what
I
was
think
it?
I
I
think
think
it's
we
that
have to
too.
take the. I think.
Well, what
I
has it
think
been
we have
down
to
there,
take the
Joey?
flags out.
And according to Andy, he said it's a non-issue.
Yeah, so I was just down there. It was noodles when I was there.
Well, that's good.
It's not the metal things that clunk them out.
Yeah.
So
That's good. Yeah.
we had no issue at all. But, you know,
And
they
that
may be
being
out
said-
by then.
That being said, I had no issue with at Braylon.
No.
That has the noodles in there. I've never seen an issue
Yeah.
with Braylon. I've
like
seen
that.
it at Plantera, and I guess Summer Grove has similar. And it is an issue because and the funny part about it is that it really only affects the best putts. 'Cause you got to hit it dead straight, and you got to hit it in the
With
nuts
pace
of the cup,
and pace.
and it just
Yeah.
dings the little knot there, and
Yeah.
it bounces straight
I
back.
think the time that's happened to me at Plantera, it was like one of the par 3 holes where I think it was like 8,
Yeah.
and I think it's like when it's sitting on downhill and you've got to hit one of those putts with a little pace, but
Yeah, I mean, you just keep thinking about a chip in or a wedge from a.
it's so
50, 60
brutal.
yards
It's
out.
so brutal. I mean, I hate
Yeah,
saying it,
it's
but
tough.
over 2 days, it's probably gonna happen. It's gonna
Yeah.
happen. See, I didn't think you could. You said to take the pins out. I don't even think you can.
I don't know.
I don't think you can
just,
take those
that's
pins
just
out.
not
I would love.
something
I mean,
off
I
my
would love
head.
for us to be able to do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
You can take the pin out if you. Well, like they're able to be taken out. I'm not
Gotcha.
saying what we should
Okay.
or shouldn't do, but they are able to be.
I've never
to be
even.
taken out.
I've never even tried it.
I
at
don't
the
know if
clubs here.
that's something that we need to address, whether or not
I think
you
it
can
is.
take it out. I mean, I think it probably should be.
Should be out or should be
It should
addressed.
be addressed.
Yeah,
at-
I
at
agree.
What the official rule is, whether it's
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
in, whether it's all out, whether it's make your own decision.
Because
Yeah.
if it is, yeah.
I mean, the official rule of golf right now is you can
You can hit it.
do
with
whatever
them,
you want.
Yeah,
Take it in or
we
take
should
it out.
probably abide by that. All right, so we're at the Marsh Monster.
Yeah. So 8.
Yep.
You know.
The numbers for 8 is 210 on day 1, 196 on day 2, inevitable wind.
Does anybody birdie hole 8 ever?
Porter definitely didn't last year. Hole 8
You did.
was
you,
birdied by all champions but ours. But ours.
Wow.
Yeah,
Who was
which is
that? Who
impressive.
was that?
So the White Panthers and the Bluffton Tea Party both birdied 8.
Wow.
Wasn't you?
I was on that team.
You were the White Panthers.
I was on the
Was?
Bluffton Tea Party. I don't remember birdieing it.
Neither
Yeah.
do I.
Maybe.
That's that is such a good
To
shot.
be honest,
that is such a good fucking shot.
Yeah.
For that to happen.
To be honest,
Or a good great
hole
putt.
8,
Or a great putt. Correct.
maybe that's why I feel this way. Hole 8 to me isn't as hard as hole 17. I'm sorry, not hole 17.
15. 15. Yeah.
Hole
I
15.
agree.
And maybe it's because we made birdie that year, and it just didn't seem like it was that difficult of a shot. But hole 8, the difference between hole 8 and 15 is that you have a number to carry that marsh, and that's a pretty consistent number, whether it's a little right, a little left. On hole 15, the pin might be at 150, but you might hit it 160, but miss it a little right, and it's in the water. Like, because the way the green runs and the water runs, it's running away from you the whole time. Especially me who plays a slash. You know, I'm gonna slice it into the water every time. So it's
It's also a very narrow green.
yeah, and
It's a very narrow
and it
green.
runs away from you.
But yeah, I mean 8. I was surprised to see that 2 birdies. I think 8's a hard hole. You know, it's a par hole.
It's a par.
Yeah,
It's a par.
well, it'll be a different hole this year from 210.
You're right. Day 1.
You guys see anyone? I'm sure you see that team bogeying it between 2 days, right?
I mean, they double bogeyed it last year in a scramble.
Yeah, post team did. Yeah. Do you see anyone bogeying a par 3 and still winning?
I'll give you a
Has
statistic
anybody
right now.
bogeyed a hole in one?
No champion has bogeyed a hole in one.
Sorry if I jumped to that, but
No,
I mean,
no.
it's,
I mean, that was the right
I'm
time.
just
but
thinking,
we also
like-
haven't done what we're doing this year.
Yeah, well, I remember when we won 2 years ago, we made birdie on the last hole to win by 1, and I think Butters' team was one of the teams in second, and Murphy's team. But I think Butters' team bogeyed 2 holes, and they finished in second. They were 1 stroke back.
Holy shit! Wow.
Was that the year he eagled 18, or was that last year? No, that might have been last
Maybe.
year.
Could have been.
So 9, I know you had a great hole at 9 last year, right? Walk us
9,
through 9.
yeah,
I know that tee, but what's the difference on the
So we're obviously
tips
playing blues
We're
both.
not playing the tips.
We're playing blues both days from 9 because the tips is
right.
is a really hard shot. Yeah, so 9 you've got the trees in play a lot, and it's actually a much smaller area to land it if you want to have a really good look at getting there in 2. Which is it's not a length thing. It's an angle
It's
into
an
the
angle
green
thing.
thing.
You gotta really kind of snap it.
And last year we ended up in that little jet out where the marshland kind of cuts back in.
Which is the safe place to be, but it's difficult to get there in 2.
Well, that was actually ended up being a good angle for us because if you're a little too far left, that fairway tree is cutting you out totally, unless you can hit like a really nice draw in, which I obviously cannot. So we ended up kind of hitting over the marsh, cutting the marsh over, and that was our eagle hole.
How far out were you guys on that hole? Do you
We were like 215, 220 out.
So you hit a great shot to get there.
Yeah, so we kind of sliced a drive out into that like little cutout nipple thing, and I just hit the shot of my life.
Yeah, you hit a great shot to get. That's what I'm saying, to get the eagle. It's
10 feet away.
That's tough. That's a tough shot.
Yeah,
But you hit a good one.
10 feet away and then flow. Sank
What,
it.
do you have any stats on that? I mean, teams have had to birdie that to win.
Birdie or birdie eagle are the scores on 9.
Eagle, yeah. So you guys eagled. Yeah.
So, I think this year, I mean, anytime you can make an eagle, I would love to see. I don't know if you pulled this up, but teams that have made an eagle and where they finished in the standings, I think there's only been 2 or 3 eagles.
Yeah, I know Butters' teams eagled 18 last year or the year before. The only championship eagle was ours, which I thought was surprising.
But there hasn't been very many.
No, you're right.
Time. So
yeah.
So anytime you can get an eagle or have an eagle look, I think is very important. So 9 is a hole that you can, because even like you said, you guys didn't hit a great tee shot, but you were still able to get on the green and look at a putt. One of your shots was exceptional, obviously, but if you're able to play a draw there, and you don't draw too much or you hit it the right amount, you can be within 200 yards of that green.
You said 215 in.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not that. You know that some of these par 5 you're gonna be at 230, right?
Yeah, I mean 5 you're
so that's
5 you're way further out than that.
210 is an iron for
But
some of these guys.
Yeah, second 210, 10 feet is a great shot.
Yeah.
Regardless, but that's 210 with not a great tee shot. If you're missing right a little bit.
No, it's yeah.
So you can be within 200 on that hole. That's probably the shortest par 5, correct?
It's got to be.
Let's see. Yeah, it definitely is.
So my question is, what holes do you think give the best eagle opportunities? I don't know if we have a par 4 that can be drivable. Maybe hole 2.
So
if you really bomb one from the blues and you got to get a great bounce, but I don't think so. I don't think you can.
Yeah.
It would have to be an incredible
I think
second shot.
Hole 16, you might be able to get lucky and drive it up on the green or get it close enough to maybe chip it or something.
I think 18 is eagleable.
Yeah. What's the tips back from 18?
18. It says 25. When we were there last weekend, they were stacked up on top of each other. They were the same thing. Yeah. So the tee box.
It's messed up.
The tips tee box is not in good shape, so it may not play that different. And you hit a good drive there, you're 190, 200 yards out.
Yeah, that's probably it.
And then 12's not an eagle hole by any stretch, in my opinion.
12's tough.
12's a tough tee shot to put yourself in a good position to have a good second shot.
Yeah.
So the par 5s, yeah, I mean, I'd say 2 of them are eagleable.
Yeah. The fact that you guys eagled 9, that 9 might be.
2 of them are eagleable, and maybe one of them is eagleable from both the tips and the blues, being hole 18.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you make the turn. Like, I don't think 10 is a super easy hole. Like it's not a hard hole, but the tips you're back there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Belly's got hot dog in it. It's a different.
I mean, on the scorecard, the tips are 40 yards back.
The tips are different.
40 yards back on the scorecard.
40 yards is worse than your stat on 7 when you said 35, 30
You
yards.
know what
This
that
is-
does?
this is-
that makes you have a good tee shot.
You have to pipe one a little bit.
Half the pipe one.
And there's very little par fours where you have to have a good tee shot. A lot of them you just have to have a decent tee
Just
shot.
get it out there.
But I think if you're 40 yards back from the blues on hole 10, which is not an easy hole anyway,
No.
you have to have a good one.
Good. I mean, you could potentially be 190 out if you don't have a good tee shot. 200 yards out on a par
Yeah.
4. 40 yards back's a big. That's one of the bigger tips to blues holes for sure. And then you roll into an 11, and I think 11 is also a tee shot difference for sure, because blues you can similar to hole 7, you can also cut the corner a little bit with a draw and get it over that bunker. So the tips back you up to the point where you can't really do that.
God, I'm trying to think of what the 11 green looks like, but I can picture the tee. I just can't picture where the hole shapes out, but
it goes over this bunker to the left, and then
Okay.
it's a pretty round normal looking green. I mean, it's
okay.
Previous champions have 2 birdies. The Bluffton Tea Party parred it, so it's scoreable.
So I mean, by hole 12, you think a good score is still 5, 6?
No, I think you need to be deeper than that, right? Because we said -4 through 6 is kind of table stakes. So,
You have to birdie 9.
Well, which hole? I know 18's a par 5. What's the other par 5 on the back?
12,
And I guess
12.
maybe
So it's right after 11. You're coming to that par 5. With
so I'm getting ahead of myself. So 12 is a birdie hole, right? You got to birdie that.
Yeah, the par 5s are pretty safe to say you got to be birdieing the par
obviously,
5s.
right.
But yeah. So I mean, through 12, previous champions have been -9, -8, and we were 10. No, 9. Sorry, so 9, 8, and 9.
9, 8, and 9.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I think 13, 14, 15, 16 are tough holes.
Yeah.
And maybe not 16. 16's a little shorter.
I'll tell
14,
you, yeah,
15.
15 and 16 have been parred. Both holes have been parred by all champions.
Yeah.
No birdies on 15 and 16.
15's
No
a
birdies.
tough hole.
15's a tough hole.
15's
Are you a little
very
surprised about 16 not having a birdie?
Yes.
Across 6 rounds of champion?
And
Or
when we
sorry,
were
3
on
rounds?
the Bluffton,
Par 4,
the
right?
Bluffton Tea
16, yeah.
Parties, I remember
like to
I
march
hit
to
a
the right.
drive,
Yeah.
and we were 35 yards out, and we just no one could. No, I don't even know if we hit the green, honestly.
Is that little pond scary
and
one,
we,
you think?
And we hit we parred, and we were at that point we were a stroke back.
Yeah.
And we thought we just lost the tournament because 17 is not the easiest hole, par 3, and par 3s are difficult to make birdie, and then we knew we might have a chance to go into a playoff, but at that point we did not want to go into a playoff against Butters or Murphy because they had both birdie out
Whipped,
like the last
yeah.
4 or 5 holes.
Yeah.
So we thought we had lost the tournament there on that hole, but we were in a position to make birdie. We just
didn't do it.
Didn't do
Yeah.
it.
You guys went par on 13, 14, 15, and 16.
Yeah.
It's incredible that you ended up finishing birdie
Yeah,
after
the
a
hole
par
at
stretch like
17,
that.
Shot on 17 is what saved us.
That
there.
can be deflating too. I mean,
That's what it's deflating. The par streaks in a scramble are deflating.
you
You
gotta.
just can't get a birdie to fall. It's deflating.
It might be, from what you guys are saying, it might be the team who can obviously birdie the obvious holes, but can sneak that birdie between, it sounds like 13 and 16. 13.
Specifically 15 and 16.
Yeah.
If history is any lesson, you're
And
stealing a stroke.
not 15, but like in the middle of that round.
No champions ever birdied hole 16.
That's
yeah,
crazy.
it's surprising.
It's crazy. Because you can put a good tee shot
That's
there.
340-yard
Yeah,
shot
that's
hole,
not-
right? There's a little creek to your right.
Right before the green.
Yeah, a little pond.
377 from the
You
Blues.
also have to wonder if by that time, since we've had one round of BMI, like the team's just like they're just kind of already over it. Like they know 17's
That's a
coming
good
up.
question, and that's
But I'm saying beside,
that was part of my question about the psychology of not knowing the score. I mean,
yeah,
if you're 5 under going into 16, and Hey, you can go birdie,
Dude.
birdie, and go 8 under. like,
Absolutely.
You're right back in the. Right back in the
100%.
16. Okay, so say
But
17
if
is
you go
par.
par birdie, it's over.
Right.
If you card a 6, you're bad.
Yeah, almost. If you par 16,
You know?
18. I mean, if you birdie 16, 18, that's you get to 7 or 8 there.
Even
and
7, correct. If you birdie 16 and you have a chance to reach the green at 2 on 18 and possibly make an eagle, you're right back in it.
Yeah, that
Even if you make par on 17.
that hurts really bad if you're close on 16 and you come away with a par.
The front plays historically a couple strokes easier than the
that's
back,
what
so
I'm
you
saying.
want to get your scoring in by the turn.
That's 5 at a minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll breeze through. 12's an easy par 5, or a par 5 that we already said is not very attackable. And then 13, 14, I think are scoreable. 13 is a very short par 4. 13 similar to hole number 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very straight, very
I
short.
know 13.
Tough green, and then 14 is Andy's plot of land.
Yeah.
If you hit one left into the woods, please leave it.
Yes.
I like that hole. Yeah, yeah. Please leave all your balls there.
But that hole, you're having a decently long shot
Maybe
in.
now that Miss Georgia's not working, hopefully they didn't just spoil the future of the show. I don't know which order you're going to put in here, producer Corey. We'll get Miss Georgia on the plot of land grilling us some hot dogs for us.
It's a beautiful plot.
Yeah, give us.
I thought you were going to say it's
there.
beautiful. She's beautiful.
No. It's
Her too, though.
It's very bountiful, plentiful. And then that hole's really just warming you up for 15.
Yeah, 15 is. I love 14 though.
15's
Actually,
a tough shot.
15's so tough. Has
It's a
anyone?
small landing area on the green.
No one's birdie 15, right?
No.
You said what you said. Okay.
Correct. And 16. So you got back-to-back holes that play really hard historically.
Interesting. How many?
I'd be interested to hear what 17 is. I mean, I know we birdied it with the Bluffton Tea Party. I think you made a 30-foot putt there or something.
Dean
right?
made an incredible putt
Yeah.
for birdie?
for birdie. Very deep, which is the opposite of what you did, which was almost hit a hole-in-one.
Right. I think it might be the closest I've ever had in my life.
And
I think we were. Was that 2 years ago?
2 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah. We saw it. Yeah. That was insane.
Yeah, so 17 has had 2 birdies from champions.
Tell me distance on 17 again. It's like 180, 190,
Yeah,
right?
so-
Something like that, or maybe even 175.
Yeah, it's showing. Let's see, 180.
It's not as
183 from the tips, and
Okay, so it's not as
167 from.
slightly downhill, maybe a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Kinda, a little bit elevated.
And then you got the marsh wind. You got the wind coming off. You know, and there's not
Pretty
a
big
whole lot of room
green.
to miss there.
Yeah.
And then then you go into 18. You got a par 5, and I mean that's birdie or bust. IMO.
I mean, has anyone not birdied 18? Like,
The White Panthers did not, but they might have already had it won by then.
We didn't.
Yeah.
We didn't birdie it last year. It was rain. It was about to thunderstorm. Connor was hitting balls up on us from behind and tell us to hurry up.
I would say the moral is no bogeys ever. If you want the green jacket on your body, and this, I think that could probably be different with a 2-day tournament with tips mixed in, but man, bogeys got to sting.
Yeah.
yeah, sting. Yeah.
You just think there at any given hole that you make a bogey, somebody's probably making a birdie. So that's a 2-stroke difference for you versus another team, which is just can't have it.
It's
So Kyle,
demoralizing.
now that we've done a flyover, what are you thinking score wise?
I could be dumb here to say it. I think. Well, I'm not dumb. I mean, you said 20. I think 19. I just. And I would love to be wrong. If someone can string together two days of going double digits like that, and they deserve to win. I'll put it that way. I just think with the tee box switch and a full team bringing it 2 days with the conditions is a little more. We didn't really even talk about, not that I have any inside stats or anything, but how the course might be playing a little different as opposed to March, whenever we play early March. I mean, it and depending what the weather does. I mean, obviously, if there's a thunderstorm that rolls in, it's going to be target practice for some of these guys, right? But which could completely change, I guess, the scoring. But also that would change, the ball and how it rolls off the tee and getting yards for some of these guys. But I'll stick with like 18, 19. I think 19 gets it done.
I think that's fair.
It's gonna be hot.
It's gonna be hot. And
Yeah, it's gonna be. Very steamy, dude.
I'll tell you what. When we were there, both days thunderstorms afternoon,
Yeah.
and they monsooned water down, and then it was very humid afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's
just summer on the
the
bluff.
course hold up the water?
Yeah.
I mean, these were torrential downpours.
Yeah.
So there was, it did
Some
well.
standing
It did
water
well,
or-
but it was inevitable. This is how hard it was raining. So, as long as we don't get absolutely skull fucked, then, I think we'll be all right.
You think the greens will be ready by then? I mean,
I'm
think
telling you what, man. 5 days later, like we were able to putt on some of the greens with relative normalcy. Like, it was.
If they're getting rain and it's hot,
Yeah.
It's raining almost every other day, right? So they're going to be real healthy.
I worry a little bit, but I know the Saplo.
Gotta
The
put it out of
Saplo
your
greenskeeper
mind, man. You
will.
gotta put it out of your mind.
Yeah, I know the greenskeeper will keep us.
We've been so lucky with the weather. Knock on wood, but
Yeah.
man,
The chairman is he was really dropping an iron fist on the groundskeeping crew for sure.
Yeah.
no doubt in my mind about that.
I'm excited for after round 1 to getting in the clubhouse. If that's hopefully that still is able to happen with everything that's going on now. But Champions Dinner and everything and hang in there. That'd be fun.
Andy told me that there's a new screened-in porch area that we'll be hosting our dinner at, which is huge.
Massive.
Hopefully
So
they
good.
got some ceiling fans in there.
And then we're
Cool
gonna
down a little bit, but the screened-in part is beyond massive.
Yeah, beyond huge.
10 out of 10, huge.
And then that's when we're going to be posting scores too, so that'll be amazing. So
Yeah, the dinner's you guys will leave with full stomachs and clean palates.
Yeah, I mean, before we saw it's great. You have why has the menu not been sent out? What are we eating?
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking that you actually this is
All
planned.
I've heard is that the menu is not able to be actually read. It's in Chinese.
Oh.
I haven't seen it, but that's what I asked Andy the same question. He told me.
As one of the co-creators of the menu, we submitted our menu well before COVID, and I think that the committee was just very busy with all the sponsorships requests. I mean, they've been getting blasted with sponsorships. I don't know if you guys have seen how many sponsors we have this year. So I think the menu just got lost in the shuffle a little bit, and 3 weeks out, I hope it gets sent out because it's a great menu, and I wanted everybody to be able to see it. But in terms of the language that it's in, I can't confirm or deny that. But
I
you
haven't seen it.
you guys are going to be well fed, and you're going to have really, really clean palates.
God, Buzz. So excited. What did you guys have last year real quick again? Who was the champion?
We had a Low Country Boil.
Oh, that's right. So it was actually
Our
real.
palate cleanser was the dankest
Bud.
gummy worms you've ever had. It's just with the most THC, probably like 80% THC.
You're serious?
No, yeah, it was super dank.
Oh wow.
Yeah, some people didn't even
Eat 'em.
take any. Yeah, they were afraid.
God, I'm scared.
Parker was so high.
So high. Bruce was clam baked.
Insane.
And well, we all know what Parker did. God bless Parker. Hopefully, he will come with his A+ performance. I'm sure he will. But well, guys, this was awesome. I think if you guys don't have anything else, this is a great episode. Like I said, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to post one more. I hope so. Maybe talk to the chairman one last time quickly. But
Yeah, it'd be nice to have a chairman.
have the chairman kind of break down any last minute updates. But this was a lot of fun. Joey, glad you were able to
Thank you
able
for
to be
having me.
live here, and producer Corey, thanks as always for all your hard work behind the scenes.
Anytime.
And thank you to our sponsors. Really,
Thank you
none
to
of
our
this is
sponsors,
possible
yeah.
without you guys. So.
Yeah, we're so excited to get down there, and
Billy Grant Golf.
Billy Grant Golf,
North
probably
Shore.
the best sponsor. We'll see who walks away with the blue Mizuno driver.
Oof, man, I want that thing so
Bad.
So badly.
Well, it's no longer new, but I still want it.
Yeah. Anytime Richard Fitzgood hits a
I'm
drive
assuming he
off
was
the club
hitting it on
face,
all your practice rounds.
Dude,
was he?
no,
Stop.
the way he clipped that blue wedge, man. Whew.
Oh my God.
The blue wedge is cool looking.
Yeah,
Cool.
it is.
Would you rather have the blue wedge or the driver?
Oh, it's right.
I'd rather. Yeah, if I win the driver, I'm going to trade it in for a 3-wood.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Wow.
No.
Well,
Sorry,
That's good
Mizuno.
enough for you?
Is
No.
a Mizuno 3-wood?
Huh?
A Mizuno 3-wood.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Not because I already have a Mizuno driver. Thank you, Mizuno. We're proud of you. Well, guys, that's it. Thank you for listening, and we will hopefully talk to you later. We are out.
KJ Knows Best is brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you for listening. Now, back to your show.
Hey, this G tweet on the line. Tell me what's on your mind, kid.
No introduction needed. Gary Weintraub, ladies and gentlemen. KJ Knows Best. Gary, congratulations. You're having a boy.
Congrats on the sex, bro.
Congrats, Gary.
Can I honestly tell you guys, this is a real true blessing you guys are calling me on this evening. I'm actually out here, guys. My first time in my entire life. This day 2. I'm smashed on White Claws.
Well, it's about time you. It's about time you get to the.
On mango White Claws. They're the best. I'll put that out there all day.
Mango's good, bro. Mango's good. You don't.
Oh my God, they're so good. I'm also 7 tequilas deep. El Jimador, holla.
You see Richard Fitz good today too?
My God, Dick never looked so good at all. I'll tell you that.
Did he have the shark hat on?
Oh, you kidding, bro? Baby Sharks is his game.
Oh, I mean, Gary, you must be so pumped that you kicked that ball and it was blue.
Kyle, can I honestly tell you this, buddy? I don't know if you saw the preview video. This entire week, the entire last 26 weeks, buddy, I was honestly convinced it was a girl.
Of course.
I tell you that. I told you that when I saw you at Chucktown.
Yep.
And I'm gonna tell you that today. I'm still convinced that they changed the powder to fuck with me. It hasn't really hit me yet, buddy. But I'm gonna tell you, my boy is gonna be the coolest fucking cat on the block. When we go to the barber shop and get our next temp fades, he's gonna lose it.
How expensive can a baby's cut be, Gary?
It's gonna be easy, $35.
And you're gonna gladly pay that until he's
every fucking weekend.
Oh, God bless his heart.
Friday when I leave work at 6, we're winding up to the barber shop. We're gonna drink Ciroc and we're gonna get temped up.
This might be the best interview of all time on the show. Hey, Gary, I don't want to transition, but, I mean, there's got to be some kind of transition. Tell me about your golf game, and tell me about the sexy wedges you're probably hitting with your Nike irons.
I don't know if you talk to any of the teammates or if they show you any of the scorecards. I've been texting them. I hope they don't, because I really want to stay underrated and under the radar. But between us guys, I'm going to tell you. I think I might be the X factor of the pick, honestly.
You think you're the best pick in the fourth round?
It was fourth round pick easily, which was understandable. I mean, I knew that going into it.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, I'm not a good golf player. I can say that, but I think I'm one of those players in the scramble when you need a shot, especially when you're 120 in. I mean, I think we've all seen it. We've all know what I'm capable of doing. But recently, even my score, playing like a real golf round, I've been very, very consistent. My putting, put it 4 foot from the flag. It's going in. I promise you that.
Yeah, I mean,
I go toe-to-toe, baby. Toe-to-toe.
We talked about it, in Charleston, the crew. It's we broke it down. Are you a better scramble player? Are you better, individual player? And I could see you being in that category. Yeah, that's fine.
100%. I think I'm a good. I bring a lot. I mean, just watching that Facebook Live, bro. When I had a kid, I think I bring a lot of electric energy to the fucking room. I really do. Have you ever seen a gender reveal go that fucking rage? I don't think you have.
No. I actually haven't.
Imagine a BMI when you fucking drop a birdie 10 foot. Are you kidding? Momentum next hole, we're in there.
The only other person that is probably as excited as you of that soccer ball being blue is Paul Vogel, your captain. No doubt.
Buddy, Paul sent us a text in the team, and I don't like to talk about all this, but and this is the reason why I actually don't even want to get into the BMI group text with all you boys because I can't hold it back. But Paul just dressed up into the unis. OMG, bud. Let me tell you. The guy had the nerve to ask me, does he need a medium? The guy looks fantastic. Oh, my God. He literally said this. He literally said this, the unis to standards. We all need white belts. We all need black belts. We all need pants. We all need to go order another $200 worth of gear to get to his standards.
Wait a minute. Can you tell us what at all you're wearing? Do you have 2 uniforms? Do you have 1 uniform?
Oh, buddy, no, we're 2-day set. We're 2-day set.
Nice. I'd expect nothing less.
At the end of the day, buddy, there's no innies here. It's just outies. You know that.
Are you good? All right. Hey, are you going to be making a late night push, an early morning push to the tea time on Friday?
Oh, God. Come on, buddy. You know I'm going to be sniffing cheese all day, baby. All I do is snort cheese, kid. I got cheese for days. You want to hit a ball 400 yards? Come get my cheese. Come on. No, honestly, though, real talk, I'm going to be there the day before practice round. Yeah, I mean, we'll be cheesed out. We're cheeseheads. I'm not a Green Bay Packer fan, but yes, this weekend I'm a cheesehead, 100%. Cheese. Shout out, Diddy. I love you.
What do you do? What do you do? What do you say?
I think that's
What
it.
can you say, buddy? You kidding? I do this shit for bread and meat, bro. If I don't win the BMI, my kids don't fucking eat. Let's get real.
You need a victory. You haven't won since Breaking Wind.
Breaking Wind there, and then I did have the Weeby, but that was also inclusive, so...
So every time you've been on my team, you've won, huh, Gare?
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, don't get the dad bods to get the B.
That'd be dangerous.
Don't get the dads to get...
Too much chest hair in that group not to win.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Are you kidding? All Blake has to do is hit the driver, I hit the wedge, let's fucking get a birdie, and we're out of here.
Boom, boom, boom.
Cheese, cheese, cheese.
Producer Corey, Joey, you got anything? You want to say hey to Gary?
Hey, last thing, Gary. We ask all of our callers this. Marry, fuck, kill, Blake, Corey, Kyle.
Wow. Blake, Corey, Kyle?
Yeah.
I think I'd marry Blake. I might kill Corey, but I gotta be honest, I'd fuck the shit out of Kyle.
Yeah, lots of people would.
Yeah, I mean, it's no brainer there. Sorry, Corey, no disrespect, but Blake just seems like it's Blake, right?
Great
Love
answers.
Gary.
Great answers. Thank you, Gary.
Yeah, guys.
Love
Kyle,
you, man. See you soon.
Kyle, if you really want to know what it's like, though, let me know.
Well, hi, buddy.
Put your belly on that back there, Gary.
Boy, I tell you, Kyle, your belly's on the back and the paws in the eyes. It's a surprise. It's nice.
You're doing them dirty since day one, bro. All right.
Oh, baby.
We'll talk to you.
Guys, man, I can't wait to see y'all. I really can.
I know.
You too, bud.
We're excited, man. All right, we'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.
This podcast is brought to you by the McDonald's off of the exit to Sapelo Hammock. Thank you so much for great service and great food. Yum, yum.
Answer.
Probably not.
I hope he's scurrying to get to the living room right now and answer the phone. Sam Leon, how are you, buddy? Welcome to KJ Knows Best.
Oh my, what an honor. This is amazing. I
Hey.
never thought I'd get this call.
Well, first of all, you were supposed to call, but I thought of you, and I said, we have never had Sam Leon on KJ Knows Best, and you like the game as much as anyone. You played 27 holes today, and
I did.
your prep is underway, and I appreciate that, so I thought, why the hell not? Just to let the viewers know, too, it is 11:15. I'm sure your wife is already sleeping. 11:37. I've had a few too many. It's 11:37. So I want to say thank you for answering the call, and talk to us about today's 27 holes.
I mean, so Kyle, it was a great day. glorious day. So I'm actually down in Newport News, Virginia, visiting my parents with my brother John, who many of you know. And we just decided to go out and get a bunch of golf in today. So played one course, 8 o'clock this morning, got 18 in. Beautiful. Got deer running around the course, turtles crawling across the greens. Beautiful. I mean, I didn't play that great, but it was still fun to be out there. Later in the day, get out. This beautiful course. I mean, my God, this place is immaculate. The golf carts. I mean, you guys are probably used to this quality, but I have not played anywhere like this. Golf carts telling you how far away you are from the pin, you know, just the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
So anyways, Kyle, I step up to the first green, and I say, you know what, this grip just isn't working for me anymore. I've been doing this stupid interlocking grip thing, and for years, and it's just, I'm not getting any better, so I decided to switch it up, and I'm not kidding. The results were amazing.
So you think you figured something out?
I think there was a light bulb that went off today, and it bodes well with BMI.
Wow. When did you figure out what? I mean, this was after 18 or during the second night?
In between, like the 3 hours between the rounds. Just doing some thinking about it, and just realizing that it just wasn't working anymore. Never really was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey Sal, this is Blake here. Looking at your grant from this round that you made a breakthrough.
Sure. Of course, I was expecting this question.
Well, yeah. I mean, 54 with 21 putts.
Blake,
that doesn't sound like a breakthrough there.
Blake, let me go back to the point I made about how incredible this course was. This was, I was putting on glass.
Well, you had 0 1 putts.
And I will be the first to admit that my chipping game is awful right now.
Yeah.
But, it was just more of a mental shift.
That's why you have Corey.
Clearly the results aren't there on the scorecard yet, but I think you give me a couple more rounds before we get started down at the bluff. We're gonna get down into the 90s.
So,
don't you worry.
So this is what you were referring to when you said you were playing like Suds today.
Yes.
Okay. Just so we're all on the same page.
How's Sal? Take us inside the team group text. I mean, what's being said? Is there anything being said? I'm sure you guys are probably not too happy with the team uniform situation. With I guess another team has the same uniforms as you do, which is funny.
The team uniform situation. I've been kind of on the outside of this. I didn't realize what was going on. Another team had stolen our uniforms, and I didn't really get what was going on until it was too late. But of course, throw in Colin, trying to make decisions, and Potter, pushing back. And then I think we had some shirts lined up that were ordered, and then it was just too small for Trip, and I don't know. It's just been a whole lot of nonsense. I think we ordered some today, but I just don't know.
Today? You ordered them
I'm
today?
letting my captain to make all these decisions.
Unbelievable.
And by my captain, I really mean Potter. Potter's really our captain.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Shots fired.
Holy shit.
Well, let's just be honest. Colin,
Sal, you
put the
have to
team
plead
together,
the
but
fifth,
Potter
Brooke.
Oh my god.
Shots fired there. Oh,
Wow.
This is getting ugly.
Holy shit.
Sal, all right, thanks for calling it.
No.
R.I.P.
Sal.
R.I.P.
Trip's there? Trip, why didn't you tell me you were on the line?
Trip hasn't really said anything tonight. He's really leaned back and just taking it all in. But
That's
because
smart.
you're on his team, maybe he will step up and ask a question or have a comment. But I guess what I was gonna say is, we are 3 weeks away. You kind of told us about your individual game. What do you think about the course? What do you think about your chances? Maybe winning score. What do you think the winning score will be?
Winning score, it's going to be low, of course, the teams are amazing this year. I mean, there's going to be some incredible individual efforts. I'm expecting Dean to go out there and put his team on his back.
Wow.
Right? I mean, that may not be too bold of a prediction, but that's just what I think is going to happen.
You think their team wins if obviously you're not picking yourself?
I mean, I think they're the favorite. Andy's probably due to get a win on his home course. Joey is just, always lucky when it comes to this kind of stuff. My biggest concern right now, of course, is, being one of the two people having to fly in to the BMI. And, some conversations with Suds this week have made me a little nervous.
Yeah.
Have you talked to him yet?
No, we called him. He was the only other person we called besides yourself.
Well, did he answer?
No, he didn't say anything.
Man, I had some texts with him this week where he made it seem like he's like 50-50 at best.
Well,
it's scary. I don't know what the backup plan is for that team.
Yeah, I mean, it would be 3 players versus the rest of the field.
Will they get an extra?
No, absolutely not.
Oh,
no.
They won't. Oh, wow.
I think the chairman has come out and said that. I don't think there's going to be an extra swing or extra putt. Show up who you got.
Wow. I mean, if that happens, we're just giving Hare a built-in excuse.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, let's hope that doesn't happen. Things are escalating quickly, but let's hope that doesn't happen.
I'm really looking forward to seeing Suds tee off first.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about that tonight.
That will be so good. So good.
Sal, maybe one of the last questions here, and I think I was talking to Corey about it earlier. Between you, Corey, and Eli. Thank you, Corey. Gotta have a pretty big performance. I'd say your B+ game for between two of you over the 2 days. I mean, Potter can obviously do what he does, but gonna definitely need some support there.
Of course. Well, that's why I've been so heartened to see some of Corey's scores and hear how he's playing, and Colin feeling energized and confident right now. I feel like we're going to be able to put together those supporting cast shots that you need to give a low score.
Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be very, very interesting when we get down there. The nerves.
I mean, it's going to be the hottest BMI, probably the most humid.
Yeah.
So many gnats. We're battling a pandemic. I just want to give my props to the chairman. If it does all get pulled off, which I'm sure it will, what a feat. Bravo.
I agree. Yeah, we had the Queen of the Bluff on tonight, and she was saying that everything's in order, everything's in line, and we're expected to be there, man. So, well, listen, I appreciate you answering the phone this late, and I'm excited that you're taking it seriously and getting out there and playing. We'll see you soon, and excited to see you. I haven't seen you in a while, so.
I know, of course. Thank you all. Have a good night.
All right, buddy.
See you.
So funny, dude.
Special shout out to Encore Golf. Take a bow. Encore, the best ball in the biz. A special shout out to our platinum sponsor, North Coast Golf. It's a wedge. It's a club. It's North Coast Golf.